Welcome into the Gaming Discourse. I'm Tyler Frater alongside Richard De La Cruz, who's not here today, and Chief Engineer Lieutenant Commander Connor Frater.
Good evening.
It is Monday, September 8th, 2025. Go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/gaming discourse, patreon.com/the gaming discourse. You can support us for $247, $10. Get your name in the video credits, early access to our videos, access to our Discord server, and more. We've got a little bit of news. We got a little bit of games today. Today may be a bit of a shorter podcast, but that's okay. Not all podcasts have to be like an hour and a half, 2 hour long marathons. That's fine. How have you been?
I've been all right.
Have you been playing any video games at all?
Not the ones I could talk about.
Not the ones you can talk about. Okay then. So there's nothing at all that you could talk about with regards to the Vichy games.
Not really.
No? Okay. So let's see, what have I been playing? So I've been playing Death Stranding 2, chipping away at that. It has gotten better in some places. The story's gotten a little more interesting. Mm-hmm. I've just been mainlining it. I haven't been setting up like zip lines and doing a bunch of cargo runs and stuff like that, like I was in the first game. I didn't even set up the roads at all because I just couldn't be bothered. So yeah, I've just been mainlining it, and it's fine. It's very Kojima. It's very predictable in some way. Like there were two twists that I predicted right off the bat, and I'm not necessarily. I don't think I'm smart for predicting them. I think they were kind of relatively obvious.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it's fine. It's just Death Stranding 2 is just fine, I guess. I don't find it as interesting as the first game. I don't think it's as good as the first game. I think it tries to do more with certain themes, and I don't know. There's like conspiracy and stuff. One of the issues with Death Stranding is that there is this. So the United States government is the UCA in Death Stranding, right? And Bridges is the, I don't remember the lore. This may not be 100% accurate, but like Bridges is either the private contractor or the division of the UCA that does like the like connecting people, right? Building the infrastructure and stuff like that.
I thought you literally meant bridges. I thought you were gonna like go into a diatribe about bridges.
No, yeah. Let me tell you about bridges, like the actual physical object. No. So this organization has always been like a disembodied character because you don't meet the like you know of it, but it's not like you ever go through the headquarters. Death Stranding is actually very strange in this way, in that you go to these cities, but you never actually see you see very few people.
Yeah.
Which makes sense in a post-apocalyptic context, but I don't know, there's like, it would be interesting if there was a mission where you actually got to walk into the city and actually see the cities and the people that were living in some of the cities or something, or go underground and see people living there. Instead, it's all sort of disembodied and awkward and weird, and it feels very dystopian, which I think may be partially on purpose, but I don't know if it's all on purpose. But so Death Stranding 2, it got interesting. It piqued my interest. I'm excited to finish it. I think I'm pretty close to finishing it. But at the same time, I'm just sort of, I don't know. I'm not as enthusiastic about DS2 as I was about Death Stranding. And I think DS2 isn't as focused. I don't know if you remember the character who looked just like Solid Snake in the trailers. There's a character who put on a bandana. It looked very much like Solid Snake. That character's entire plot line, I think, is just really weird and almost irrelevant and obligatory. And I don't understand. I don't know. Like, I got through it and I didn't think it was that interesting and I was kind of confused. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. But hopefully I'll finish it within the next few days. Oh yeah, and, before I talk about the next thing, go to our Patreon. I did upload a new video. I wanted to do a little project. I wanted to go through all my physical games and talk about them and talk about my physical game collection. So I uploaded a video, a rough cut of that on our Patreon page, and the shiny finished edit of that will be done sometime this week. I should have said this at the beginning, but I neglected to remember. So yeah, go to our patrons have access right now. It's the rough cut, so it's unfinished, and there's stuff that still needs to be fixed, which I did a lot of today. But what's up on Patreon right now is I don't know, 80% done. And then I'm going to finish it hopefully tomorrow. So anyway, back to video games. So I got a Switch 2 for my birthday. My birthday is coming up, so I got a Switch 2, and I've been playing that. I played a little bit. It was the Mario Kart World bundle. Played a little bit of Mario Kart World, and it was Mario Kart, and it was kind of interesting that you could drive around the open world, but it just wasn't something that I felt like was, I don't know, it didn't sink its hooks into me. Mario Kart has never come across as a single player game to me.
It's a party game, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a party game, friends over. So I don't know. I'm not interested in like digging into the driving around the open world. And there are things you can do in the open world, not quests. I don't really know, but I played a couple of like the circuits, and I did some of the really long, like where you go through multiple tracks.
Okay,
and it is like just one long race. It's like instead of it, I don't know. I know there are
the Grand Prix.
Yeah, so instead of it being like NASCAR where you're going on the same track, it's like one really long track or something.
Oh, yeah, you're talking like a cross country.
Yeah, and that's pretty neat because you get to see the different maps and stuff like that, and you kind of get to put together like how they're connected, which is interesting. But it's one of those things where it's like, is this needed? And is this worth $80? I don't know. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about.
You can play as a penguin.
And a cow. So
that's easily...
That's at least $20 each. If anything, Nintendo's giving it to us at a discount.
Yeah.
But the game I'm really enthusiastic about is Donkey Kong Bonanza. Donkey Kong Bonanza reminds me a lot of Mario Odyssey in some ways. But Donkey Kong Bonanza I'm having a ton of fun with. So it's a platformer, obviously, and you can punch the ground and punch walls and dig holes and stuff like that. So this mechanic is in other games. If you've played No Man's Sky or, I don't know, freaking Minecraft or anything where you can sort of dig chunks out of the ground. But Donkey Kong Bonanza, you do it a lot faster, and there's more dynamics. So you can, like, say there's an enemy that's in a hovercraft or something. Donkey Kong can rip up a chunk of the ground like you're the Hulk, and you can just toss it at them and stuff like that. There's different types of ground. So there's mud and rock. There's a type of rock that explodes if you grab onto it and toss it. It explodes on contact. So there's rocks that do different things. There's all kinds of little... They take a mechanic that we've seen before, right? Digging through the ground is not necessarily a new mechanic.
Yeah.
But they use it in a lot of really awesome ways. There's a mini... there are little... So the point of the game is you have to find bananas, right? Donkey Kong's after his bananas. So, kind of like the moons in Mario Odyssey. So you're just...
Same shape.
Yeah, almost. And same color, too. I'm sensing a pattern here. So you just, you go through so it's like not an open world, but, maps are pretty large.
Yeah.
And you kind of go through and find your way. And then there's little challenge levels that you enter, and that area is sort of separated. It's bespoke. And like one really cool challenge area was this, it was like a slope. And the slope would, you go up a hiking trail and it's like snakes up. You know what I'm saying?
Switchback.
Yeah, switchback. So it was kind of like a switchback, but there were these rolling mines that were rolling down the hill. So if you try to just run up the hill as Donkey Kong, you're going to hit by these mines because they're all over the place. You can't avoid them. So how do you get them out of your way? Well, the ground, you can destroy the ground. So what you do is we're at one of the ends of the switchbacks, you just break the wall and they fly off the edge of the mountain, and that stops them from going down the hill. Or you throw something explosive in the middle of a lane somewhere, and then you just create a giant crater, and they all sort of just pool into that crater, and then they don't come down after you. And Donkey Kong can crawl on things, so you just sort of find your own way. So it gives you plenty of ways to think about your own solutions to puzzles, to platforming challenges and things like that. There was a level where it was conveyor belts, and the conveyor belts, you stood on it, right? Conveyor belts going forward. And there's this thorn bush that if you touch it, you lose health. And so the thorn bush, it's kind of tough to describe, but in the middle of this skinny hallway with conveyor belts on it, the thorn bushes are like grown in the side. So the challenge is this conveyor belt's throwing you into the thorn bush, and you have to avoid it, right? So you can run down the conveyor belt and sort of try and avoid the thorn bushes as you're going down the conveyor belt. But the sides of the level are breakable material. So you can just literally break out of the level, climb up top, and it's just this, because it's a disembodied separate level. It's just a little bespoke level that's set in like a void. So you can break out of it, climb to the top of it, skip the entire thing, break down and grab the bananas. And that's a totally valid way of doing it because you just think of creative ways to do things. So yeah, I'm having a ton of fun with Donkey Kong Bonanza. That I think it's a Game of the Year candidate. I need to play it more, but just the level design is really cool just because some levels are relatively like, I don't know, flatter, I guess, in a sense. Others are more multi-tiered, so you have to find more creative ways to get about places. I'm not super experienced with Nintendo platformers. But it does remind me a lot of Mario Odyssey, where there's like a little interesting thing in the corner of the map, and you're like, "Oh, if I figure this out, I bet I get a moon." So if you figure this puzzle out, you get a moon, whatever. So it's the same kind of thing, you know. It's like you'll see little, not puzzles, but maybe a puzzle, more so like a little challenge or a little platforming challenge, and if you kind of figure your own way through it, you get a banana, you have a good time, whatever. So yeah, I'm excited to continue playing that. I'm really enthusiastic about that. I did not think I would enjoy it as much as I am. I don't know, after Astrobot, I just hadn't played a platformer in like a super long time. So after I played Astrobot, I was like, man, I need to get back into platformers. Like, I need to play the Mario games. I need to play, there are so many platformers that I need to go back to and play. The Little Big Planet, like I would love to go back and play Little Big Planet, which I think do I have a copy of? I don't know.
I don't know. You have a stack of games over there.
I do have a stack of games back there. Yeah, maybe in there. Yeah, like I don't know. I just miss platformers and some of the creativity and some of the fun. And so I'm really happy with Donkey Kong Bonanza. That is by far like the most exciting thing that. As far as the Switch 2 goes, it's much more powerful. You can tell instantly.
Okay.
Donkey Kong Bonanza runs 60 frames. I very rarely, if ever, get frame drops. Lots of stuff going on, because when you dig all these holes, it's persistent. So if you dig holes and if you change the shape of the geography of the level and stuff like that, it all stays that way. So I assume that's something that's taxing for the system's memory, maybe, perhaps, I don't know. But in any case, it's something that's taxing because it's a dynamic thing that the game has to remember and has to like keep up. And I haven't experienced any like drawbacks. I hopped into Date Everything, which I wasn't a huge fan of, but on the Switch, Date Everything it chugs pretty bad. It's running 20 FPS.
Ugh.
I don't know, maybe I'm being over dramatic. It's 30 or sub 30.
Okay.
Which is fine because it's not an action game. You're just walking around talking to stuff. So it works. But as soon as I launched it on the Switch 2, it was like silky smooth, way better instantly.
Yeah.
Which you would expect. So I have not played like Cyberpunk 2. I probably won't because I have it on PC, so I'm not going to buy a copy. But yeah, so positive all around, and I can't wait to play more of it. Did you have a thought on something?
Oh, no.
No? Oh, okay. You raised your eyebrows like you had a thought. No?
Nope.
All right, let's hit the news. Thanks for listening. If you like our content, please consider subscribing or leaving a like and comment. You can find us at patreon.com/thegamingdiscourse. And our tiers are $2, $4, $7, and $10 and include getting your name in the video credits, early access, and access to our Discord server. My favorite character in Date Everything. During the commercial break, Connor asked me a question, and as the professional, I don't know. I thought she was cool.
Yeah.
I was surprised how explicit the game gets because even the bed talks about like voyeurism and how that turns her on.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wow, okay, so this isn't like for a little bit it's like, oh, this is a cute dating sim, and then after a few minutes it's like, oh no, this is like they're not joking anymore. Like these people have kinks and things that they like, and it gets serious. And then the I don't remember what her name is, but the girl that's the video game console. I don't know if
I don't think I've.
She's pretty funny because you play through. If you talk with her, it's like it's kind of like a choose your own adventure thing where she talks you through the game that you're playing, and you kind of have to choose your path and stuff like that, which is kind of neat. yeah, her. I didn't. I don't know. I talked to a lot of people, but I don't really remember. I liked some of Date Everything. It just sometimes it was a little too bizarre and strange, and some of the characters just I just they the dialogue just went on a lot, and it was sometimes it was just like I remember talking to the shower. So the shower has like a million things going on because you talk to the shower, and so it's a shower 1st of all. So there's all kinds of implications there, and it's also a Elvis impersonator, and he also has he's lonely or something, or you only get he's sad because he only gets to spend so much time with you because people take showers quickly. So it's like when you meet him, you learn all this stuff, which is a lot, and he talks about it a lot, and you're just like, oh my god. So I don't know. Did you play Date Everything? Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think?
I enjoyed it. It was,
Yeah.
It was pretty fun.
How far did you get in it, and did you date someone?
Yes. Betty was one of the people I dated. The bed.
Okay. Cool.
And Penelope, the office supplies.
I don't think I ever talked with Penelope, so yeah. I don't know. I might go back to it just to see what's up, but yeah, I don't know. And neither of us have played Silksong. I should have said this at the beginning because we are the only video game podcast on earth that's like not even mentioning Silksong right now. So I don't know. On the thumbnail, I'll put like a Donkey Kong picture and in parentheses, we haven't played Silksong, something like that, which is Richard's domain. Unfortunately, he can't be here right now, but I'm sure hopefully Richard's been able to dig into a little bit of Silksong. Anyway, okay, so let's get to these Perfect Dark layoffs. So this is according to Jason Schreier at Bloomberg. Crystal Dynamics was forced to cut staff and fully abandon Perfect Dark after failing to find funding for the game. Embracer came close to making a deal with Take-Two, in which Take-Two would purchase the game from Microsoft. The deal fell apart at least in part because the companies were unable to agree on the long-term ownership of the Perfect Dark series. As Schreier points out, this situation is somewhat similar to Tango Gameworks, which was going to be shut down, but then was bought by Krafton. And I don't know if we know what Tango Gameworks is up to. I think they're making a sequel to their rhythm game that I have completely forgotten the name of. The rhythm third-person hack and slash game. God, it just came out last year. I'm completely forgetting what it's called. It doesn't matter. So I don't know. This upset me for a few reasons, and we don't. I want to say that I saw somewhere that it was about about a third of the development was left, or no, a third of the budget was like left to develop. If that makes sense. So I don't know if it was a $6 game, $2 were left or something like that. Whatever.
Yeah.
So it's disappointing that people are losing their jobs and we're not getting a game. And it seems based on, I don't know, two companies that are not agreeing to something that I don't know. It just seems like if you're from Microsoft's perspective, what are you really losing here? Are you going to do anything with the Perfect Dark IP? Are you going to reboot it right away? Because you just decided that the money and time that the initiative spent, because Crystal Dynamics helped join them, so it was like a joint task, I guess. But the money and the time that just Microsoft in general spent on this thing, to them it wasn't worth it, so they cut their losses and they ditched it, right? Okay, so is Microsoft going to spend any money to reboot Perfect Dark again?
Solid maybe.
So it's just like, if you're not going to, why not let somebody else have a crack at it? This is a problem with video games, is that IPs like this get shut down. And the Perfect Dark, like, we know there was a lot that happened behind the scenes. It's been reported that this game had like good stretches of development and bad stretches of development, and it's been in development for a long time. So I'm not going to sit here and say everything is Microsoft's fault. And it very well could be that, in 5 years we get a long story by Cecilia D'Anastasio or Jason Schreier or et cetera, where it gets into all the systemic ways that Perfect Dark failed. And it's like, okay, here you go, where no one's to blame, systemic problems, managerial problems, whatever. Now, obviously, this is like, for example, in Dragon Age Veilguard, there were lots of things that went wrong, but I think systemic problems like the greed of Electronic Arts are pillars that help prop up a lot of those systemic issues, if that makes sense. So, sorry, back to this. I don't know, if Microsoft is willing just to cut their losses and take the hit, why not let somebody... Is Perfect Dark really that big of a brand that you want to keep it around? I don't know, unless they have plans for the IP, but it would just... If you have plans for the IP...
Then why didn't you
let
this one work?
The Initiative and Crystal Dynamics like go ahead and do it, you know? Like, I don't know. Unless the development of this one was so untenable that you just had to reboot. I don't know, but they haven't said reboot, they just canceled it. So this isn't like the BioShock 4 thing where they cut people, they changed, you know, management, and then they brought in new people and they're doing like a complete overhaul or something like that. This is like they're shutting the ship down. From Take-Two's perspective, I don't know, it feels like you have the money. So was it, because on the flip side, I guess it would be with Take-Two, it's like, okay, is it really that big of a deal that you don't own the IP? Because if the remaining money on the game was a third of the budget, then you are paying for, and I want to say Jason Schreier posted that on Blue Sky. I'll look it up real quick, but I don't want to get it wrong. But if the remaining budget was just a third, right, then what you're buying is a AAA game for a third of the price.
For the price of a single A game.
For the price of a single A game, exactly. You just remove 2 A's and there you go. So that's what you're buying, and I think like that's a steal, even if you don't own the IP, right?
Yeah,
that makes sense to me because you're not paying for you're not getting the entire budget anyway, so you're buying something at a discount. I just don't see what
your profits are just going to be larger.
Yeah, I just don't see like what the major downside is. I'm gonna go through Jason Schreier's. Yeah, I thought I saw that. Jason Schreier tweeted out or posted on Blue Sky, but I guess so I don't know where that number in my head is coming from, so don't quote me on that. It may be incorrect, but I don't know. So I guess that's the other side of this, is that Take-Two, I feel like, but even if there's no way they were paying for the entirety of the budget, right?
Yeah,
because that would be weird if Microsoft was like, hey, we paid for this thing 5 years ago, so you're gonna pay for those 5 years and everything else once we load it onto you. That would seem like a bad deal. But the larger point here is that I feel like when, I don't know, Take-Two is buying a AAA game at a discount, and then you get all this good press for it, right? Like as soon as Krafton bought Tango Gameworks, people were super excited to, you know, because they brought it back. And I feel like, you know, the footage of Perfect Dark looked cool. Who knows if it would have been any good. But if you're Take-Two and you purchase Perfect Dark, and then the story is, hey, Perfect Dark has been re-signed with Take-Two. Take-Two revived the deal, then that's all good press. And if anything, it makes people more excited for the game, because this thing that looked cool that people got excited for has now been revived, and you get the benefits of all that without the drawbacks of having to fund a long development process. So I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things where there's blame everywhere. Hi-Fi Rush. Thank you for looking it up. Hi-Fi Rush was the name of the Tango Gameworks game I was trying to get to earlier. But I feel like with this situation, there's blame to go around basically everywhere. And we're not going to know for maybe ever, but unless somebody really digs into the development Perfect Dark, what happened while it was at Microsoft, and we're not going to know what happened here until someone really digs into more of the details. But it just sucks that people lost their jobs and that a game is canceled because two companies that could definitely afford it decided the deal wasn't good enough for them. Microsoft can afford it. They're Microsoft. And I don't have Take-Two's finances in front of me, but they have a massive cash infusion coming in. Now that cash infusion has to make even on a ridiculously on GTA 6's budget, but I think it will. And we still don't know how much GTA 6 is going to cost. But even with that, I feel like Take-Two has to be there's no way that this was like a we just can't afford it type thing.
Yeah.
So we've been deprived a game, and people have been cut from jobs for what I think is a really shitty and dumb reason, and that's too bad. But it's something that just happens in the games industry, unfortunately. Sorry, did you have any thoughts on any of this?
Just to double down on, like, yeah, it should have been a no-brainer for Take-Two. Just like, lean in, do what you have to do to get this project because it will be good for you. But ultimately, I think it will be people make games that releases the story.
yeah, that's another total
Calling
possibility.
it now, it's people make games.
Yeah, the other thing is like Xbox. I don't know. We've had this conversation about Xbox. Is like, what is their identity? What are they doing? Pete Hines just had
recently. It's pivoting towards AI.
Yeah, well, there's that. But like Pete Hines just did an interview with Kirk McKeon, who used to work at The Gamer and then a couple other places. But anyway, I think it's the same Kirk McKeon. He did an interview with Pete Hines. Pete Hines talked about Game Pass and the unsustainability of Game Pass, which we've bounced around on this show all the time. And so it's just like, I don't know, if you're Microsoft, you've got these handheld things that you're kind of doing, and you've got this console that you're working on, but the console business, you don't seem super enthused about it. You've got Game Pass, which is nice, but is that really sustainable? Or, I mean, is that something that you can really keep going forever? And on top of all that, you're putting your games on other platforms. So now there's not really, you don't have like an incentive for somebody to, I understand that Xbox is all about platform, is platform agnostic now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know, if you're operating at the scale that Microsoft is, and PlayStation is making the majority of your sales, I imagine that can't be a good thing for your games division to get there eventually. If somebody else is taking cuts from, now that makes sense if you're Konami, because Konami isn't Microsoft. They don't manufacture consoles.
Yeah.
They don't operate Windows, So like third-party publishers and developers, that business model obviously makes sense. But for Microsoft, I just don't think it does, because Microsoft and Sony are sort of the two giants, right? So if you're Microsoft and you're constantly looking for like new ideas or new games or something, I feel like here you go, especially with reboots. How popular reboots and remakes are right now.
Yeah.
And Perfect Dark may not be as well remembered as like a Resident Evil or something like that. But I mean, it's something. It has name recognition. It gets people excited. And if this launches and it's good, all of a sudden Microsoft has this new thing that they can do.
Yeah.
And be positive about. But right now it's like I don't know. Microsoft doesn't have much. Like I don't think Microsoft has much. How do I put this? I am excited for Ghost of Tsushima, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited for Naughty Dog's next game. I am excited for the next Horizon, right? There are these things that Sony is working on. Now, Sony's also like, tripping over themselves and trying to figure out what to do with live service bullshit. But there are these things that like I'm excited for with regards to Sony. And I think a lot of other people are excited with that for Sony, right? With Microsoft, what am I looking forward to in the future? Clockwork Revolution, which is like niche, which a lot of people probably don't even remember. They're doing something with Halo, but it's like Halo Infinite got so bad that whatever the future of Halo is going to have to be like a complete revamp.
Yeah.
So that could be a positive thing. The next Gears of War is like, okay, it's going to be a prequel. All right, cool, I guess. There's just, I don't know. When I think about these two companies, I guess I'm excited for, like I was excited for Indiana Jones. But again, that was something that Microsoft just bought. The larger point I'm trying to make here is I just don't feel like people are looking forward to the next Microsoft game like they were back when, Halo 2, Halo 3, ODST, Gears of War, right? All that stuff. Even like Fable, like the game when the Xbox 360 had like these big exclusive titles, right? That's not the business anymore. I understand that, but it also just that atmosphere isn't around Xbox anymore. If Xbox announces anything tomorrow, if Xbox announces Gears 6, it's like, oh, cool, I'll get it on my PC or maybe even PS5 or something.
Yeah.
So they just become a publisher. And at that point, I don't know. I think that takes a lot of the... And even then, Gears 6, I don't think would be that interesting because Gears of War 4 and 5... Or, well, Gears 4 was like, okay, I never played 5. But, so yeah, I think this is just bad all around. And I feel bad for the people that now have to look for jobs, especially in this environment. And it's not going to be just Take-Two's fault. It's not going to be just Microsoft's fault. I'm sure there was mismanagement. I'm sure there was just things fell through. Nobody goes out to make a bad video game. Nobody decides, hey, we're going to get stuck in development hell. Nobody makes those decisions, but those things happen regardless. And I don't know how to fix it. But yeah, it's just too bad. And here we are. So yeah. Is there anything else you would like to say about this?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. I wanted to... I don't know. I kind of wanted to rant, just...
Pop off.
Just, so there's a Call of Duty movie that was announced, and I'm not even sure what I want to rant about, I guess. It's just that, I think what happened is the Mario movie happened.
Yeah.
So, the Mario movie... from like 3 years ago or whatever, was not the first video game movie.
No.
Obviously.
Well, it wasn't it?
How do you mean?
Like the Mario Bros. Movie, like back in the 80s?
That's why I said 3 years ago, because I knew you'd make that joke. I specified. So, it was not like it has not been the first video game movie, obviously. Mm-hmm. There was an Assassin's Creed movie, right? Yeah. People that... I've never seen, but apparently no one has seen. There was a Jake Gyllenhaal was in Prince of Persia, right? And different companies like give out their IPs for movie, like Capcom with Resident Evil. You could kick in the doors to Capcom and just give them the stuff in your pocket. Be like, I have an old piece of gum, some lint, and a penny that is drenched in asphalt and has 1974 on it. And they're like, you get the rights to a trilogy. Resident Evil trilogy's all you, man. I'm like, all right, awesome. Like, they just give out Resident Evil to whoever. It just doesn't matter. So people handle their movie rights differently. But I think the point I don't know what point I'm trying to make. To bring it back, the Mario movie was successful. Yeah. So all of a sudden, and the Last of Us TV show was successful.
And the Minecraft movie.
And the Minecraft movie was financially successful, yes. Yeah. So now transmedia is like a buzzword, which is annoying. And I think it's annoying because video game movies could have been good 15 years ago, 10 years ago. It's just for whatever reason things didn't get done. And now finally these things are happening and they're making money. And so now everybody's trying to figure out how to capitalize on that, right? Mm-hmm. And I guess there was an Uncharted movie that wasn't very good. So I don't know. I guess what I'm mad at is it's just another thing that is like, instead of, I don't know, the first season of Last of Us was really good. I haven't seen season 2, but like the first season was really good. You could see that they really thought about how to adapt this into a TV show and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They changed a lot of really important things to give us sort of a different version, specifically with the character Bill, obviously. In the Last of Us TV show that made for one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen in my life, but also take a character in the game that was a bit of that weirdo and kind of a joke character and turn it into something that was way more heartfelt, way more meaningful. Mm-hmm. And that's awesome. And so it's like, okay, this is, so there's, I don't know, if you take your time and you do it right, you can have like these fulfilling stories. But this just seems like rushing to get whatever properties you can out the door because, I don't know, Hollywood is like, what superhero movies are kind of dying. What do we do next? What's the next thing? So right now, this is the next thing. It's get all the 9-year-olds into the, let's do a Roblox movie soon. Get all the 9-year-olds into the movie theater and shove fucking popcorn down their throats and tell them to shut the hell up and get their parents to spend money on a popcorn bucket or some shit, right? With Call of Duty, I feel like it's going to be that because what even is Call of Duty at this point? It's not anything, right?
Yeah.
Like Call of Duty is not anything. It's a series that at one point...
Action man shoots bad guy.
At one point, Call of Duty meant something. It was different. It was unique. It set itself apart from Medal of Honor in some important ways. Mm-hmm. And that's what made people excited about it. And then it promptly became nothing. And that's where we're at with Call of Duty, where Call of Duty is just a brand. It might as well say Lego or, I don't know.
The Lego movie was successful.
The Lego movie was also, yeah, and success does not mean good or quality or worthwhile or anything like that. I think we have to draw that distinction. But so I don't know. I guess and maybe the Call of Duty movie is going to be good. Who knows?
No.
Maybe it's a fun action movie. But I just saw this and it just made me roll my eyes because it's just getting something out the door as quickly as possible. And it's for a property that is as meaningless as like the Emoji Movie at this point, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure when the movie comes out, there's going to be all kinds of like, oh, there's Easter eggs. Oh, did you catch? Oh, there's Reznov in the background. Do you see Reznov? Oh my God, he's everywhere. Numbers, Mason. What do they mean? Oh my God, they said the thing.
They took out an anti-aircraft gun.
Oh yeah. The first 5 minutes. Oh, you took out an anti. Oh, it's so funny because I know the references, and it's just gonna make me annoyed because. Maybe it's just because we get this instead of a good Halo. Maybe that's the core of this is how
movie starts. It's in an elevator.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want
Russian.
I want no Russian uncensored. That's what I want. Yes, that's how I want the Call of Duty movie. And then it goes from that to the dumbass Highway of Death part from the Modern Warfare reboot, where all of a sudden Call of Duty decided to take itself way too seriously and handle politics and geopolitics with the tact and delicacy of a fucking sledgehammer on a plane of glass. Like, get the fuck out of here. But anyway, yeah, that's what I want. No Russian, exactly. And not only that, I want no Russian, but I want it to be Call of Duty zombie characters that are doing it. And one of them has the ray gun. That's how I want the movie to open. That would be the greatest movie opening. The greatest movie opening of all time. And then you can get celebrities in it. You know, remember when they used to do those celebrity packs? I guess they still do it, but like everybody's got a soldier in them. It's like whatever. It's just stupid. So
Lil Wayne in there.
Yeah, and I don't know. Yeah, so I guess that was it. It's Call of Duty is just like hollow jingoism. Lots of stupid ideas. It used to mean something. It doesn't anymore. It's been ground down into a fine corpo powder that is just shoved in the faces of people all the time. And so I just rolled my eyes when I saw Call of Duty movie because I was just like, what is this even going to be about? But like at the same time, just because it has Call of Duty and then, I remember when I heard about Andor, it was just like this character from Rogue. What are you going to do with Andor? What? And then Andor comes out and it is unironically the best Star Wars thing since Return of the Jedi. It is the best Star Wars thing since Return of the Jedi or The Empire Strikes Back. Not even joking. So I don't know. Maybe you get a good writer on it. Maybe you could make it a fun action movie, and that would be okay. But I guess this all comes back to please just if they, let the Master Chief keep his helmet on and just let Jen Taylor play Cortana. I don't see what the big problem is there. And Steve Downes played Master Chief. You're set. Good to go. Sorry, you're gonna.
I was gonna say if they play their cards wrong, they can get Kevin Spacey to reprise his role.
Yeah, that would be perfect. I'm sure not
him plus no Russian.
Yeah, and then there'd have to be a press E to pay respects at some point. I don't know how you would work that into I don't know, like two soldiers. Have you paid your respects yet? Not yet. And then I don't know, like an E appears on the screen or something stupid like that. Was it F?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was one of those stupid keys. So, all right, we're at 40 minutes. Is there anything you want to get off your chest? Anything else you want to talk about?
No.
No? Okay, we'll end it here. Follow us, youtube.com/gaming discourse, patreon.com/the gaming discourse. We'll be back next week with more, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.